All right. Happy Monday, April 12th, 2021. Today we're going to focus on curiosity and riddle skills. We're always focused on riddle skills, right? So many people have told me, God, I wish I'd have learned this years ago. But learning how to think like you're solving a riddle makes schoolwork so much easier, right? But curiosity, I think I'm really good at finding interesting stuff for us to read. But what are you curious about? What's interesting to you? It's always more meaningful when you're looking for yourself instead of having somebody else tell you, hey, read this. So I'm going to see what y'all come up with. I'm excited to find out. So I will search for connections to my life, my generation, and the world. And for our close, well, why is it important to listen to other people's points of view? And if you're like me, we got habits, right? I kind of eat the same food every time I go to the same restaurant. I listen to the same kind of music. I watch the same TV shows. Right, David? David, are you with us? Yeah. You paying attention? Because you're a good person. Thank you, David. David, do you always kind of order the same thing when you go to the same place? Listen to the same music all the time? And I think that's what most of us do, and that's why I'm excited. I had somebody in my third period who is not a great student. Let me just say that. And he was like, Carval, you got to read this. And he found this amazing poem that just blew me away. And I was like, damn. So I want to see what y'all come up with. Before we do anything else, though, let's do our positive affirmations so we can tell ourselves what to think and what to believe. Those of us in the classroom, come on, let me see your thumb up. Thank you very much. Yes, and what are you? I am strong, confident, and successful. Yes, we are. And let's grab a barbell. Come on, classroom people, grab that barbell. We're going to build some muscle. Yes, even you're a good person. Come on, pick up that barbell. You got it. Awesome. Is it heavy? No, it's not, because you're strong, right? How do you feel about getting work done? I love getting work done. Yes, we do. And how do you feel about schoolwork? The harder I work, the stronger I become. Excellent. Thank you. And little Carvajal comedy. What's a bear with no teeth called? Anybody know what's a bear with no teeth called? It's, did you say it? A gummy bear. Get it? No teeth, the gummy bear. It's got gums. Isn't that funny? Not really. I know. I like dumb stuff. All right. And so for our assignment for today, if you go into Monday's work, and there's that question, why is it important to listen to other people's points of view? And research one, My Generation Z. And if you click on that, you can open up a Google Doc that looks just like this. And minimum word count, you know how I am, right? Be sure you actually write stuff. But $400 words is not that much, because when you click on it, it's already got 170 words. So you've got quite a few spaces to fill in. You only need like 230 words total. So keep in mind, just be sure you check before you turn it in, because it's got to be more. Y'all know how I am. I believe in you. I know you can do good. So the first thing I want us to do is find your own, that's where that curiosity comes in, if you were wondering. Find your own Generation Z poet. And if you remember, we watched videos on Friday of 4 different poets, 4 different slam poetry readings. If you like slam poetry, awesome. Go into YouTube, search slam poetry, young poets, teen poets, and click on stuff, see what you find. If you want to just look up written poetry, the student I was talking about in an earlier class found a really cool written poem about this girl who had immigrated to the United States and came from an African country. And man, it was hard. It was a hard, difficult poem about how awful things were in her country. It's not like, oh, I came to U.S. because I didn't have a reason. No, I came to the U.S. because I was going to get killed or hurt in my country. And amazing poem. So I was really, really impressed by that poem. So what's going to impress you? You're not looking for poems for me. What's interesting to you? You want to find a young poet, somebody, not too old, maybe in their 20s or teens, and look for them. Find the voice of your generation. And of course, everybody's going to have a different opinion. And that's okay. It's just up to you. Search the internet, search YouTube. And with that curiosity, well, what are you interested in? Man, I want to find a poem about sports. You can search for poems about sports. And somebody actually found one in an earlier class, found a poem about soccer, playing soccer. Poems about nature, about illness, about love, about anything. So young poets, just searching young poets, you're going to find all these lists. 10 young American poets changing the face of poetry. 7 top young poets to watch 2019. Young poets, the poetry. You can click on these, and some of them are, those of us on campus, some of them are going to be like, you cannot go into this website. That's okay. Just go back and click on another one. But find a good poem, find a poet that you find interesting, and tell us about it. So information, the poet's name, the poem, give a short bio on the poet, info on the poem, why it speaks to Gen Z. The bio, of course, you can copy from the web page. I don't care. But why it speaks to Gen Z, you may have to use your own words there. That's fine. Artifacts for the poem or the poet. Find a picture or an image. Find a link to the video or to the web page it's published on. You got to have 2. So at least 1 picture, the link to the thing. And if you were like my student in an earlier class, Mr. Carbajal, this poem rocks. God, this poem is good. Hey, share it with your friends. For extra credit, make a real Instagram post about the poet and a link to the poem. You can get 10 extra points, so you can get up to 110 on this assignment. Message me and tag me in my Instagram account for school that I've never really used before. So tag me at Positive ELA, Mr. C, My Generation Z, hashtag if you want. And yeah, that'd be really cool if some of y'all did that. And you get extra points. Once you've got your poet, that's what I'm really excited about. What about the events? What about the events that shape Generation Z? And you can, of course, Google Generation Z events and find stuff. You can also write about personal events, things that happened to you when you were young. I've had several people in the discussion talk about problems with parents, problems with family, losing jobs, things like that. Or when they were kids, they got their first cell phone at a certain age. So if you want to talk about a personal event, you can. And then, or a real world if you don't have anything personal you want to talk about, and then a real world event. So you got to find 2 different things, right? Either a personal and a real world, and a real world event. So you go down the line with each one. What was the event? What happened? Summary of the event. How is this event important to you? Tell us about it there. How has it affected you over time? Then you do the same thing with the second one. Go down the line and answer the questions. Remember, you have to have a minimum of 400 words total, which is about 230 words written for you. It should be easy to do. And for each of the events, it's the same kind of a thing. You have to, do I have it there? Yeah, you have to be sure you put some kind of image, some kind of a link to an article, web page, anything like that for here. So be sure you put the artifacts, and you get to the other stuff too. And yeah, it's not a lot. It's mainly copying and pasting. I know it shouldn't take you that long, but I hope you take some time and find a really cool poet that speaks to your generation in a poem. That's what I'm really focused on. The rest of it, yes, it's good, of course, but that's what I really want your focus to be on, because you know how I am. So get this done. It won't be that difficult, and I look forward to reading what you write, because that's really important to me. You guys are wonderful writers and very thoughtful, and I love reading your writing. So be sure and get this done.